Welcome back to Vic's Projects, everyone. I hope you're well. Today on the Isetta we're going to be looking at the suspension. So, as I said in the last episode, I've had these aqua blasted. They've come up great. The next job is to get rid of all the old bush bearings so that we can get the new ones in. Now I'm going to work at one at a time, so I've always got a reference to come back to should I get things wrong, which might happen. Now I've got loads of bushings to get out, so there's 6 just on this side alone. So 2 up here, 2 down there, it's 4, 5, 6, and then all the rest all over the car and on the other side. So I thought this was a perfect excuse for a brand new tool. It was only 80 quid. Now I'm going to start with these 2, and the first thing to do is find something to use as a guide to push it out, and a socket normally works great. So with our kingpin bushes out, it's onto the suspension swing arms. Now there's 4 of these, 2 on each side, and as far as I can tell, this is the same diameter all the way through. So I should just be able to push that and then push it all the way out the other side and push the other bearing out. Fingers crossed that's how it works. We'll find out. I'll just put a little bit of lubricant in here just to help these bushes move around, to give me half a chance. And then, yeah, let's give it a go. Well, our new toy certainly made light work of that job. Here's our old bushes, and we've got a nice new shiny set that we've got to put in. But before we do, I'm going to soak these in engine oil first, just to get all that oil infused, impregnated within the bushes. And also, these surfaces could do with a quick clean. It will make the bushes slide in a lot nicer when we come to push them back in. Now we're at the fun part, which is starting our reassembly. Now, in the last video, I said this. Now, while I'm here, the kingpin actually, and the bush is actually feel in pretty good condition. So we'll talk about that when we come to rebuild it, but we might not have to do a pretty tricky job. We might get away with it. We'll see when we get there. So now we're here, let's talk about it. So, these bushings that you've just seen me press in, they work with this kingpin to give us steering. Now, these bushes, they come slightly undersized in there, so when you push them all in, the bushings move around a little bit, there's a little bit more material, and then this kingpin won't actually fit in there. Now it's supposed to do that. Because we know the bushes will move, you then need a very specialist tool called a reamer to go down there and just take a little bit of material out, give you a perfectly circular surface and a really good fit to give you really tight steering. Now, it's quite a specialist tool and it's quite a specialist job as well. And I was thinking maybe we can reuse the old components to get away from doing that. However, these bushes, the new kingpins, are actually really reasonably priced. So I thought, you know what, whilst we're here, we should probably get on and do it. Second problem was finding someone who could actually do it. Now luckily, I've got a mate who's an aircraft technician who is really good at specialist stuff like this and had the tools to be able to do it. However, so I did send it off to him and we've been sitting around for quite a while waiting for that job to get done. He made a load of excuses, like he had a day job, had to earn money, something like that. Anyway, he finally got around to doing it, sent me this video a couple of weeks back. Oh my, it is, whoa, it is lovely. He's done a really lovely job. Now, what does that reamer look like? They look a bit like this. This is a bigger one, so not for the kingpin. This is for, I think it's this smaller one there. Yep. So what they do, they got loads of little flutes, which are all sharp edges. And then you go in, twist that round, and you can see all the chips left from taking up that very small amount of material. So, long story short, that's all done, and we can start reassembly. So, let's crack into that. Now that we've built all this up, it's time to install our shock towers, our shock, and our spring. So before we start, we need to look very closely at our springs. Because we've got a right-hand drive car, we actually have two different types of springs. Now the left-hand drive car only has one type because you've got the engine on one side and the driver on the other. So actually the car is fairly balanced. Now the right-hand drives, which I didn't actually clock when I bought it, it was only after a little bit of extra research, they're said to not handle quite as great because you've got everything all on one side. Now there was a bit of compensation that BMW did, which was to have two different types of springs. So we've got one that's slightly longer and one that's slightly shorter. Now the longer one is actually the one for the left-hand drive cars and is used on both sides. And we actually use that on the driver's side of our right-hand drive car. For the passenger side, or the near side, where there's actually not so much weight on the car, we have a slightly smaller, slightly different spring. So, always worth bearing in mind if you're coming to do this. So, let's start the very precarious job with our jig that we made in our last video. And yeah, have a go at reassembling this without putting a spring in the ceiling. So, with both shock towers now all built up, we're now on to our hubs. And if you recall from a previous episode, where this attaches to this backing plate, it was all a bit deformed on the metal. So, as you can see, I've welded in a plate to strengthen all of that up. Now the brakes, I'm going to do a whole separate episode on brakes, so wait for that one. I actually renovated and installed all of these a while back. So, while you go back in time and watch that, I'm going to get on with installing these onto the car. Okay, on to building up the hubs. And I spoke to a friend who had a zinc plating kit and said, could I borrow it? Could I have a go? And he was like, yeah, of course you can, Vic. Here it is, here's how you use it. And well, clearly, I think I need a bit more practice on using one of these things because I haven't done very well. Now these parts, they're tucked away. They don't really they're not really exposed to the elements, so I just needed a little bit of protection to it. It'll do. I think what happened is I didn't clean the part good enough to begin with. You have to get them like super duper clean. It might just be, I don't know, the passivate, I think it is at the end. Maybe I didn't do that properly, so it's only got part of it shiny. Anyway, who knows? They're good enough. Time to put in the new bearings. So with the small bearing, we need to remember this wafer thin little shim. I'm sure there's a very good reason why you need such a tiny shim, and it's not built into just how the whole thing's done. And then once that one goes in, we put this collar in the middle. Collar, I don't know what that's called. Put one of them in there, and then the large bearing can go on top. Whether you do the large bearing first and then a little bearing, I don't know. I don't think it really matters. Anyway, let's get these pushed in. Make sure you pack the grease so it gets into every single bit of that bearing, all the way through to the other side. Now there's one thing that I messed up on the other side and I had to go back and fix, and that is this bit here actually pushes this base plate in and holds it tight against there, but you need to include this washer first. Now from the front suspension we move on to the rear. I'm going to start with these grotty, horrible old leaf springs. Now ideally I'd just throw these away, well, in the metal recycler, of course. However, you cannot buy these. Well, you can, but not in the UK. You have to get them shipped from Germany. They're about 170 euros each. By the time you paid shipping, there's probably tax coming into the UK these days. Probably looking about 350 to 400 pounds to replace just 2 leaf springs. Now, I'm not paying that kind of money. That is crazy. There is something that we can do, however. We can restore these old leaf springs. So, how do you do that, I ask? Well, you open up these clamps here, you take out each individual leaf, you then paint them up, well, clean them up, paint them up, put it all back together with some grease in between, and then clamp these back down. Much like this one here, which I've done already. Now, you need to use a special kind of paint, or at least not any old paint. So what I could do is get them powder coated like the chassis. However, I don't think that's the right kind of paint. I don't think it will actually stay stuck, because it's a bit like a plastic, really, a plastic shell coating. So when these start flexing, those will probably crack and fall off. So what sort of paint can you use? Well, I reckon something like a Hammerite, which remains a little bit more flexible, or what I've used on this is some of my old chassis paint. So that should give these a much longer lease of life. Now, lesson learned from doing this one is it takes an absolute age with a wire wheel on each one of these leaves to get it all cleaned up. So I'm just going to make this somebody else's problem and send these off to a blaster. Wow, this is coming together. Great, I am so excited. Now I do have one correction from earlier, which was saying about these leaf springs, you shouldn't powder coat them. Well, I took them to the guy who does my powder coating normally to get it all blasted up, had a conversation with him, and it turns out I know nothing. So he said they powder coat coil springs and stuff like that all the time. They just don't put quite as thick coat on, and it works absolutely fine. So whilst he was there, I got him to powder coat it rather than get him just to blast it and then get it back, and then it would have tarnished slightly and then I'd have to clean it again and then paint it. So it just makes sense, get it all done properly. I didn't get him to redo the one that I'd already done. That didn't make sense, of course. So those are all done. The next thing is you saw me putting grease on these bits here, on those bolts. Why is that? Because those are actually moving components. So that bolt acts as a kind of fixed point for then I think they're called silent blocks or something like that, the bushes to move around on. So just a bit of grease helps that all move around without squeaking horribly. The other bit of grease that I did was, or had to redo should I say, was you saw me earlier putting steel bolts into the aluminium castings here. If you recall back in the previous episode, we actually had problems pulling those out because there had been what's called bimetallic corrosion. So this is where you get two dissimilar metals, so iron and aluminium in this case. If you get an electrolyte between those two, like water for example, then you've basically got a battery. And what that does is that battery starts to do what batteries do, and it moves electrons around, and you basically get those two things fusing together. So to stop water getting in and kicking off that process, just put a little bit of grease in those. Now I've chosen to actually replace all the bolts as I've been going along. Now I could have reused some of the bolts that, or most of the bolts that I took off. Some of them I did shear. Given its suspension and key components, they're a bit old. I might as well, while I'm here, just replace those bolts. There's not too many. Also I wanted to put nylox on. Again, suspension components, don't really want those coming off. It's a safety feature, so nylox made sense. Now the final bit is we put the chain case on so that we can get a wheel on and then make it a rolling chassis. Oh yes. Now this will need refurbishment. We'll do that another time, but I really want to get this thing on its wheels and see how it looks. So let's get to that. How cool is this? We're on our 3 wheels. We are technically a rolling chassis. And no, I don't think I'm ever going to get tired. I'm saying that we're on our 3 wheels is just, oh, it's crazy. Oh man, so excited. We've got suspension, that works. Our wheels roll. They don't stop yet, but we can sort that out. Oh, it's so good. So good. The project is finally no longer a bunch of rusty old bits. We are finally stopped taking things apart, and we are now into the reassembly part, which is just super exciting. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I've really enjoyed making it, and yeah, we'll see you on the next one on Vic's Projects.